Hello lovies and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here and I'm so glad you clicked on today's video. We are going to be talking about all the books that I am going to be reading in the month of July, which I am so excited for, guys. I'm so excited for July in summer weather. I'm excited to sit by the pool and reading, and I just know July is going to be such a good and happy month. Also, by the time this video is out and you guys are watching this, I will actually be in a new spot. Like, I will be in a completely new place in the country, which is crazy to actually be putting out there into the world. Like, I'm going to be in a different place. Crazy. Anyways, there's gonna be a whole vlog on that, so stay tuned for that video. But yeah, welcome to my July TBR. For the month of July, I wanted to switch it up a little bit, do something fun. The beginning of the year, I was doing a lot of TBR prompts, pick my TBR. I've been very much embracing my mood reading lately, so I've picked my own TBR for the past like 2 or 3 months, and now I thought it'd be really fun to switch it up and do another fun little TBR challenge. And I've never done this before, but what I did for the month of July is I actually let you guys over on my Instagram pick my reads blindly, which was like so cool. So basically what I did is I put up around like 10-ish stories, I want to say. Each story had 2 books and they were basically like colored out, so you didn't know the title or the author, and I just put little emojis on them and you guys basically picked based off of the emojis which book I was gonna read for the month of July. And I've seen a few people do this already on YouTube, Book Talk, Instagram, and it just looks so fun, so I decided to do it myself. And here we are. We're gonna be talking about all the books that you guys blindly chose for my July TBR. I'm honestly so excited because there are definitely some books that I was rooting for in this, and a lot of them were chosen. So I'll put it right here for you guys to see. So one kind of gave off like mountain cowboy vibes and the other gave off water sunflower vibes. I don't really know. I paired the emojis to the best of my abilities. I wasn't the best at it in some of them, and you guys will see. The hockey ones are so funny. For this pick though, this is actually going to be my reread of the month. So these are 2 books that I've read in the past, last year, the year before, that I really enjoyed, and therefore want to kind of do a reread of them. So between the 2, 61% of you chose the sunflower and the water, which I was very excited about. With these ones, I was rooting for both because I genuinely love both series, both books, both worlds. So I wasn't like disappointed in either. It was between Flawless by Elsie Silver, one of my favorite books, one of my favorite series, and Twisted Love, part of the Twisted series, which is also like a very controversial series, I guess. Some people don't really like the Twisted series.
Ew, this is so cringe. Guilty.
I love it to no end. 61% of you voted for Twisted Love by Anna Hong. I am so excited to reread this because I haven't read it since 2022. 2021? Maybe 2021. I can't remember. It was one of those years. I haven't read this in such a long time though, and I really wanted to reread this series because I definitely feel like I've grown so much as a reader over the past few years. And again, this is a very controversial, talked about series where a lot of people don't really like these books, and I want to go back and reread them and see if maybe my opinion has changed on them. I've definitely grown a lot as a reader though, and I know things I like and don't like, so I wanted to go back and reread this and see if my opinions have changed on it. If I agree with the people out there who say they don't like this series, and also just to like nitpick it basically, because I have seen so many people nitpick these books, especially Twisted Love. Like, a lot of people start with this book and they don't like it to the point where they don't go on in the series, which I do feel like I remember this book being like iffy for me. Like, it wasn't my favorite, but I'm happy I went on in the series because the other books are so good. But anyways, I just remember this book being extremely twisted, hence the title, and there's a lot of crazy messed up stuff that happens in it, which I just remember being so like interested and intrigued by. I just felt like the story was really crazy and fun, and I like crazy fun romances where there's like action and drama and stuff like that. So the first book on our July TBR. I'm so excited for this, guys. Next up, we have A Mountain and a Chef buff little dude next to a strawberry in a basket. When I was doing this, I actually realized how hard it was to pair emojis with the books, especially books that I haven't read before. I'm like, I quite literally don't know what to put down because like I don't know what these books are really about, but I did my best with this one. We have Juniper Hill by Devney Perry. This is The Little Mountain and Chef Pig. This is book 2 in the Eden series. It's basically like a small town romance series. Basically in this one, our MMC though is Knox Eden, and he is a chef, hence the little chef dude. And then our other pick was In a Jam by Kate Canterbury. And if I remember correctly, this is about a girl who inherits a tulip farm from her grandmother. There's like terms and conditions to it. She basically has to move home to where the tulip farm is, and then she also has to be married within a year in order to inherit this tulip farm. I've heard so many incredible things about this book. It's been on my TBR for the longest time, and the one that you guys chose winning with 84%. In a Jam. I've seen so many cutesy little quotes come from this book, and I feel like the romance in it is like my type of romance. So very excited about this one. It is on the chunkier side, which if you guys know, you know, chunky romance books scare the heck out of me because it's a romance. Why is it so chunky? Like how much romancing can we do? But nonetheless, I have hope that it's gonna be amazing, especially because so many people that I follow and like trust with book recommendations rated this super high and really enjoyed it. So I'm very hopeful with this one. Next up, this is where things get absolutely hilarious, and what I mean by how bad I am with doing the emojis. Two hockey romances. I gave you the choice between. I don't know what I was thinking with this. I literally did a net and a stick and then a net and a skate. Like, I didn't really give you guys much to work with this one, so I apologize. And it's only because I realized that I think in both books, the MMC is a goalie. Realistically, I messed up with this because I have 2 other sport romances in my pile that I could have paired these up with, but I just didn't. So, you know what? Let's not talk about it. Let's just move on. 54% of you chose the ice skate. First up, we have Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer. This is book 1 in the Vancouver Storm series. Heard really good things about this series, and the only reason why I actually picked it up is because a few months ago during the holiday season, I had posted a cute little TikTok of Chris and I going out ice skating. He was teaching me how to ice skate because he plays hockey, and a lot of people were in my comments saying that we were Rory and Hazel coded, and I was like, okay, I gotta get the book, I gotta see what it's all about. But it's actually like book 2 in the series technically. I think they're all standalones, but that book came out after the first one, so I wanted to read the first one soon so I can jump into book 2, see what it's all about. I'm pretty sure it's a grumpy meets sunshine trope. Our main characters, Jamie and Pippa. And the other book we have is The Goal by Al Kennedy. This is book 4 in the Off-Campus series. Slowly but surely making my way through that series, guys. We're almost there. Almost there. In this book, our main characters are Sabrina and Tucker. I don't actually know if Tucker is a hockey goalie, to be completely honest. It is a very close pick, but with 54% voting yes, we're continuing the Off-Campus series by Al Kennedy. I think this is like an unexpected pregnancy trope or something like that, and that's not usually up my alley. I can't judge though, because this could end up being like my favorite book out of the series. Who knows? This is next on the July TBR. This is also one of the newer editions from Bloom. Next up, I have a little camera, an Italian flag, and then the other book is A House and a Goat, which I've heard so many funny things about this goat, guys. We have One Last Shot by Betty Coyote. I'm definitely saying that wrong. This is actually my Afterlight special edition that I got. When I received it in the mail, I was so excited because I think it is such a pretty special edition. I wanted to include it in my July TBR. And then the other book we have is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. This is also a special edition from Eternal Embers, and I really want to read both of these books, so I wasn't really rooting for one over the other, but with 62%, you guys chose One Last Shot, which I am so excited for because I feel like this is going to be such a fun summery book to read in July, and it also takes place in Italy. I feel like this is going to be such a fun little summer abroad type of romance. I am hoping to get around to Part of Your World very soon, because I've heard such good things about it, and Abby Jimenez is another author that everyone just raves about. Now we're getting into some fun fantasy reads. We have A Bone and a Dagger, and then A Crown and Swords. So first up we have Shadow and Bone, and then the other book we have is The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Wait. No, scratch that. That was wrong. Correction, guys. Correction. We have City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. This is the Mortal Instruments book 1. I literally just picked this book up the other day from Barnes. I saw the movie when it came out years and years ago. It was one of my favorite movies. I know a lot of people say they don't really like the movies. I was just like a huge Lily Collins fan at the time, and I'm sure if I went back now and watched it, it's probably really cringy, but I loved the movie. I made it like my whole personality, so I decided to pick up book 1 of this series the other day. And then the other book choice is The Wicked King by Holly Black. This is book 2 in the Cruel Prince trilogy. I read The Cruel Prince in the month of June. It was a 3.5 star for me, but I hear it gets so much better in the second book. So 77% of you actually went with The Wicked King by Holly Black, which I am so excited for. Very excited to see like what happens in Jude and Carden's story. The Cruel Prince was really good, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it was more so just like a setup book. Like it was setting up the bigger story for us, and I'm so excited to jump into it in this one because also it's an enemies to lovers, and who doesn't love an enemies to lovers? I wanted to throw a dark romance book into the mix because I haven't really read one in a hot minute. So first up we have Whistleblower by Kay Cove. This cover is everything in my opinion. I think this is so stunning. This is from the Probably Smut May box that I got. And then the next book we have is Hunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton. I'm so scared for this book, guys. Ever since I picked this book up, everybody is like in my comments saying how scared they are for me, but so many other people have said that they love this book. So I feel like I had to pick it up. I have to try it out and see if I like it myself. So these were our 2 dark romance choices, and 66% of you voted Hunting Adeline. It's been on my bookshelf for a couple months now, and I feel like it's time to like finally dive back into my dark romance genre. I do hear a lot of very interesting things about this book and this series, and I'm nervous, but I'm also very intrigued. Like there's so much I've heard about it that I'm like, okay, I need to read this and see what the hype is about. Next up we have Loving Romeo by Laura Pavlov. This is book 1 in the Magnolia Falls Chronicle. This is a cutie little boxing romance. It's about 2 extremely different people, like from opposite sides of the track basically. FMC comes from a very well-known and rich family, I believe, and then Romeo comes from the other side of the tracks. He grew up very poor and he boxes, I believe, to get by. So I really want to jump into the series and try it out because it sounds so fun. I've never read a boxing book at all before, so I feel like it could be a lot of fun. And then the next book we have is The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adam. This is a cutie little ballerina meets football romance. I haven't read a football romance either, so honestly between the 2 of these I could go either way. I would love to read both of them. 62% of you chose the football romance, which I feel like is super exciting. Again, I've never read a football romance before. Sarah Adams is an author that is very raved about. I feel like this could be a really fun one in July. The last pick we have is another fantasy book. It's Between Shadow and Bone by Lee Bardugo. This is the Owl Crate special edition, and it is absolutely stunning. I think Owl Crate did such an incredible job with these editions. All around, they are absolutely beautiful. And then the other book we have is The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I'm low-key rooting for this one, guys. I'm not gonna lie, just because it's kind of been in the back of my mind for the past month and a half. I've wanted to pick it up. I just haven't had time. So definitely rooting for this one because I know if it's on my TBR for the month, I'll definitely pick it up. 2 really exciting fantasy books though that I would love to read. 65% of you chose. You guys chose the book that I really wanted, so thank you. The Serpents and the Wings of Night. I'm pretty sure this might be like a vampire type of romance. I'm not too positive. I don't know a lot about it, but the things that I have heard and the vibes that it's kind of giving off, I'm like, this could be like a really good romantasy for me. So the adopted human daughter of the Nightborn vampire king, Raye, carved her place in a world designed to kill her. Her only chance to become something more than prey is entering the Kahari, a legendary tournament held by the goddess of death herself. But winning won't be easy against the most vicious warriors from all 3 vampire houses. To survive, she's forced to make an alliance with a mysterious rival. Everything about Rain is dangerous. He is a ruthless vampire, an efficient killer, an enemy to her father's crown, and her greatest competition. Yet with terrifies her most of all is that she finds herself oddly drawn to him. It makes me so excited. I love that. It's not too similar to The Cruel Prince, but in The Cruel Prince, Jude is also a human and she's living in a world of fairies that don't necessarily like her, so it's kind of giving off similar vibes in that sense. But this is going to be so much fun. I literally don't know the last time I've read like anything about vampires, and I feel like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's kind of giving Twilight vibes, even though it's not like Twilight at all, but I'm thinking like vampire falls in love with a human. Twilight vibes. Anyways, these are all the books you guys chose for my July TBR. We have a very fun pile here that I am honestly so excited to read all of these. We have Twisted Love by Anna Hong, In a Jam by Kate Canterbury, The Goal by Elle Kennedy, One Last Shot. This is a cutie little second chance romance. The Wicked King by Holly Black. Honestly, the enemies to lovers in here is just... We have Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton. The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams, a cutie football romance between a football player and a ballerina. And then last but not least, we have The Serpent in the Wings of Night. I think I'm most excited for this one. That is all for my July TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. Thank you to everybody who participated in the polls over on my Instagram. If you guys don't already, go follow me on Instagram to be a part of future polls. Here's to another fun reading month. We have 8 books total on the TBR, which I feel like is a really happy medium for me because that's around the amount of books I read every month. So I feel like it's a pretty realistic TBR for me and we should be able to complete it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you guys in my next video, but in a new place. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.